Greetings, gamers! Woo! Welcome back to another episode of Honorbound actual playtest through. In the background, you may hear my little one is throwing the little nightly go to bed tantrum, so we'll see how that goes tonight. Um, this is part two of the adventure, A Seat at the Table. We are playing through the game Honorbound. The Kickstarter is still going through fulfillment at this point. Haven't got any word back from last week from the artist as of yet, and that's to be expected. Like we're getting over 20 pieces of art from these guys and gals, so it's going to take a little bit to get all that through. Once we get that, we'll put it on layout and get going through it. Now, this is what I figured out how these um, escapades are going to go. Is that I've been watching a lot of Drop Out. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but it's the where the Dimension 20 show is at for the actual playthroughs for that. So I got that channel not too long ago. Just kind of started watching some stuff and just kind of enjoying how they're going through it. I'm not going to try and do professional recordings. That's not our shtick. But the storylines were pretty interesting to me. And of course, I thought, like, oh, I need to change Honorbound into doing this for like all the guilds and all the stuff that we talked about a long time ago. No, no, I don't. But what I do need to do is each one of these escapades needs to highlight a game style that I appreciate. So, like this escapade that we're on right now is highlighting politics in a world between the free city states and the Grand Alliance and how it's going to work. So, in this storyline right now, we have Commissar Belzark, who has a fleet of some of the largest Leviathan warships that also have a unique property to them for being incredibly strong and tough to be able to go through the weft and warp to make the trip out to the the red planet that has suddenly showed up of the anti-essence on the quarters. Now, he the commissar doesn't have the engine matter to power them, but he does have the ships. You know who doesn't have the ships? The Grand Alliance. So he has reached out to the Grand Alliance, and the Grand Alliance is saying, I think we can probably get those resources. But what he is asking, Commissar Belzark of the Free City State is asking to become part of the Grand Alliance, part of the Union, be able to get voting rights without having to share his resources as the collective, because that's what the Grand Alliance does. Is that if you're born or accepted and work in the Grand Alliance, they take care of their own. You get everything for free as long as you can work. And even if you can't work, that's fine. There's always something useful to do. And if you just need care, you've got it. That's the wonderful part about being part of the Grand Alliance. Well, Belzark wants all the cool stuff, but he doesn't want to give up his resources. So he's asking to be, that's what this vote is trying to do it. And how they're tempting him to do it is through a marriage with Sapphire Crux, who is part of a house, military house in the Grand Alliance. Now, there's other council members that have their own machinations at work here. It's all coming down to Cardinal Charnay or Cardinal Small. Uh, is it Small Toe? Small Foot? Who is it? Small Paw. Um, who is the deciding vote? Now, Sapphire Crux doesn't know anything about all the politics. All he wants to make sure is that he doesn't get married. So he's asked you, group, to kidnap him. However, you're finding out there may be different ways to do this. So, before we jump in, let's go around the horn. We're going to start with Gareth Karr, and I'm going to ask you, what does your character look like? And I'll give a brief little thing about the scene that we're going to be doing before we end at Mr. Crystal, where we'll begin his scene in earnest. So go ahead, Eric.
Gareth Karr is a Harven. He has very pale skin, very dark hair, very tall and skinny. Uh, he is wearing his very fine suit here on the ship. Uh, and he's been feeling a little left out lately. He doesn't even know if he has a crew anymore. Uh, yeah. Anything else you need to know?
I want you to think about this right now. Yeah, you're right. Gareth Carr has been feeling himself isolated from the other two of his covenant, partly due to his own actions, and partly just doing the stuff out of his control that he may have misconstrued as being left out. Has that affected his relationship with either of the two as of yet?
I think it's right on the edge.
Okay,
Like the next thing that happens, one way or the other, is going to really determine it. He's still like sort of on that paranoid, thing. Uh, but he's already making. He doesn't know. He thinks there's a good chance that he's just making it up. It's in his head, and that something's going to happen. He's like, that's not a deal, and I'm fine. But if something weird happens, he's probably going to construe it to be uh, against him. So he's right on that edge.
perfect. Okay, and as a reminder, I've got two tension points right now. You as a group have three unity points right now. Um, I believe Gareth Carr has done his untold story for this saga, but Ludwika and Mr. Crystal have not. So you can bring that in whenever you want to try and earn another unity point. Let's go to Rachel. Ludwika, what does the sage look like?
Ludwika is a centillion. She is like a colony of bacteria in a humanoid shape. It is a pinkish bacteria. But also because she is a colony of bacteria, she has a little bit of like free flowingness to her form. Um, so for example, while she was dancing at this lovely event that we're at, she was kind of able to like cover some of the feet stumbles and little things like that, and she can fit in small spaces. Um, in this particular saga, I believe we left off with her talking to her childhood crush, who is a fellow centillion and is also a prince. And she is a little flustered.
Yes, you two are on the dance floor, actually. Think about what it looks like when two centillions dance together. What kind of moves do you do? Because he is going to want to make sure he's close to be able to talk to you coming up here. And remember
Right. And
that
centillions, for viewers, centillions can also just like talk by touching each other and like conveying information. So being close for dancing, right way to convey information that nobody else picks up on.
perfect. All right, and finally, there we go. Aaron, can you tell us about Mr. Crystal?
Yeah, Mr. Crystal's an Iliod, which tend to be tall, thin, lanky kinds of creatures, but he's shorter, broader, more heavily muscled than most Iliods. Like the others, he has iridescent skin that shimmers with sort of muted rainbow colors. But he's currently flushed right now. His normal mix of intense but also laid back is just completely out the window. The vibes, the harmony from the ship has just given him an absolute spike in aggression, and he's flushed, breathing fast. He's whipped off his belt to use as a lash, and he's just challenged someone he has no business challenging to a duel, potentially with one of his clan mates. His cult mates has been taken apparently prisoner, and he's just Mr. Crystal is just way in over his head. He's not quite sure what happens next. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
and also wearing, if I remember correctly, a top hat and a monocle and a cummerbund and a watch and a lucky bracelet. He is just like put on all the things that are supposed to be fancy. He is so overdressed in the bizarre way for this event. Yeah.
As is Ludwig, I forgot to mention that. I've got like the full powdered wig,
oh, right.
large
Powdered wig.
bustle as well, which I realize will affect what a dance looks like. But
All right. As Mr. Crystal has carved out this space in the middle of the floor to remind people how he got himself into this predicament, is that first of all, he cut into Sapphire Crux's first dance with Genevieve, his maybe betrothed, to try and make this deal happen because he wasn't treating her honorably. So in return, as he was leaving, he bumped into an aristocrat from the free city states. Let's meet this person. You bumped into Bishop Remundus. He is a free city state representative. He is, well, I had it written down and now I don't. I think he is a Gortu.
He's a Gochu,
Hmm.
a Gochu
So
with a single horn.
that's right. Yes. So it's going to be kind of a blackened that tapers off to be a little bit white at the end of a single horn, almost unicorn-esque on a sort of slimmer frame, wearing sashes of his office. His arms are mostly free, spindly yet a dark, deep, rich red that goes off with the black horn coming off. It goes like, you have bumped into him as he was about to punish his manservant, which is another Iliad that you recognize as someone from your compound, from where you grew up. And he called you a name. Do you remember what that name was?
I do not. Yeah, would you remind me, please?
No, because I was hoping you remembered. Uh, oh, I wrote it down on a piece of paper. And I just remember that right now. Um, it wasn't like Sentinel. It wasn't that, but it had kind of those similar tones to it. It indicated that you were some form of leadership on the compound, which you yourself haven't did not ever think of yourself as that. You were just kind of the heavy. You were the guard that kind of kept people from coming and going, or to protect the compound if someone attacked. Um, so you protected this manservant from being beaten with a lash, and the bishop took that as a challenge to a duel. You are now face to face with Bishop Remundus as he peers down at you because of your thick build makes you a little bit shorter. He looks down on you and was like, "A duel, perfect. Our weapons you chose already were lashes. It is my turn to choose to first touch or to the death. And what is a good party without a death? Now it is time to choose your champion or your second." The bishop looks at you for a while, goes like, "I do not wish to rush this. I demand satisfaction at closing ceremonies. You should go settle your affairs before the duel begins."
I will see you at close of ceremony.
You see, the manservant like kind of bows to you and to the bishop and kind of straightens up his sash that you kind of bumped off. He's like, "Excellent. See you at close of ceremony." Now, you've seen the glint of a predator before, and it definitely comes off of the bishop's eyes. He is free city state, so there's something, honestly, if you weren't so filled with this violent behavior right now, you could probably figure out what doesn't feel right. But because of this feeling emanating off of Nemesis, you can't quite control it as you kind of snap out at it and look to your friends maybe for guidance for this whatever is happening here. You've been in a duel before on the ship actually with Murph, but this time it seems different. And why are you always getting into duels? All right. Um let's go to in reverse order to Ludwika. Prince Joyson takes you in his strong arms and begins to dance to the music. What does it look like when two centillions begin to dance?
So any place that is visible outside of Ludwig's ridiculous dress, powdered wig, like they stay in place, but like the rest of everything that can be seen becomes like this beautiful like swirl. Like I'm envisioning almost like a marble that has like a swirl. Like if you're looking at a marble, and it has like a pretty swirl of colors. Um yeah, it is. It's not like distinguishable dance moves or like distinguishable partners doing a waltz or something. It is literally just
Mm,
like this like swirl of centillion bacteria. And since I believe I said his was teal. It's like
mhm.
this teal and pink swirl of bacteria.
Love it. I just uh we just took Murphy to the slime kitchen and I can
Oh,
picture it. Clear slime with a little bit of color in there with like these little sparkles that we got in there,
I
different
know what you're
colors.
talking about.
Yeah, 100%, right? Like
Mhm.
it's a mingling of bodies without, but you're very guarded. Just because you're touching does not mean you're automatically engaging your auto inducers.
Right.
Mm. As he as he dances with you, you notice he makes sure to keep within the steps of the songs while keeping out of earshot of most other people, which other people that are on the dance floor are also doing this very intricate sort of dance too, to making sure that their conversations are kept private as they're dancing with each other. As he pulls you a little bit closer and as you swirl around, you hear his voice purr out. It's like, I am here as an envoy of peace. I am here to free a prisoner. I trust you, and I trust you and your covenant won't stand in our way.
Um,
Would you consider helping me?
can't imagine we'll stand in your way because our reason for being here is not related to any prisoners. Um, However, I think I need more information before agreeing to help,
He
or more
opens his
incentive to be willing to help,
he
because
opens
I also
his
have reasons for being here that take precedence.
he opens his auto inducers to you.
Okay,
Now it's going to be a sharing of information. Do you wish to do so?
sure.
Okay. Within a flash of a second, you get his whole life story as the millions of cells within you exchange information with each other. He was born quite poor. He always stood up for the people that couldn't stand up for themselves. He quickly found himself in with the wrong sort of people. He is not a real prince. This is just a title that he has bestowed on himself after he became a pirate to make it easier to gain access
Ooh.
after he stole someone's ship to become. He ended up on the far planet where House Ambergris is from, which is where Commissar Belzark is from, where the Free City State is located. And he is sharing with you the ship that you are standing on is alive. and its real name is Moonsong. It has been tortured. It's she. She has been tortured. She has been forced to grow into this shape, and he is here to free it. With, if you remember all the way back at the beginning, there was a group of delegates that like stood out from everyone else. Do you remember that?
Hmm.
Those are his
Hmm.
compatriots, and they have a plan to try and free Nemesis.
Nemesis is the name of like what they're calling the ship.
Mm-hmm.
But its real name is Moonsong. Um, there's some form of like detect motive, like see truth, or is there a way to lie through auto inducers? Can you lie through auto inducers?
Sure.
Okay. When I knew him, was he already going by Prince Joyson, or is this like news to me?
He was probably just called Sin, probably back then.
Yeah. Fair. Just curious if like I was around when he took on that title and became a pirate. Um,
Yeah, if you'd like to give me a check.
yeah, I want to do a check, but it's going to be at -2 because he's in line of sight, let alone line of touch.
Yes. You
I
are
am
flustered.
flustered, and if he's telling the truth, I may be even more in love than I was before. And -2, is that what it is?
Yeah. -2
Oh
dice.
no, because it's something different if I'm interacting with him
Right.
directly. There's
Yeah.
something if he's in line of sight, and there's something if I'm interacting with him directly.
Yeah.
Did I
Yeah.
write that down?
You're if you're doing stuff with him, you can act normally, if I remember correctly.
Oh, I thought,
Here, let
did
me
I
look up
not write this?
Smitten. Give me a second. I can look it up.
Smitten is what did it. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
because that I have written down, and I forgot that that's what the name.
All right.
-1
Minus.
total for anything not directly connected with him. -1 die when interacting with him
Oh, my. Yeah.
directly.
There we go. You're
So
shook.
if I were attempting to do like I feel like I want to do like a mysticism. Is that a thing to detect what somebody's intentions are?
Sure. Yeah. If you want to now,
Bond, like charm, mysticism, charm, mysticism, lore.
I think, like this is going to be like an inquiry, right?
Okay,
Or a weave. I think
sure.
would be either one of those would probably work best for this. Now, what attribute you use, I think, is what kind of information you want to get out of it. Nash, like if you're
Right.
trying to like, this is what he feels. Wits, this is what he
No.
knows. Um, Mysticism could also just be like get a general feel, you know? That's
Yeah,
fine.
I think that's what I think that's what I want. I think mysticism inquiry to get a general feel of um which I guess could be empathy, but like is he telling the truth or do I think he's covering something else?
Sure. Give me some more
Okay.
dice.
So, first of all, let me make sure I'm doing this right. I can get a +1 to inquiry checks, correct? Because I have an item that lets me do that. I don't know that a
Yes.
microscope helps me in this scenario.
Well, yeah, you gotta have to figure that one out.
Because my item was specifically a microscope. It probably cannot help me in this scenario.
Probably
Uh,
not.
totally fine. And then inquiry mysticism. And I have to lose a die because I'm directly interacting with him.
Hmm.
Great. This is gonna be great, guys. I get some you need some saga points.
Yeah. Yep. You are flustered. You're just
Super
flustered.
flustered.
You can't read him. You cannot
And
read
I just
him.
I mean, I assume he's telling the truth because the what'd you say, sin? The sin that I knew he really was about looking out for those who couldn't help themselves, and like this sounds like the exact kind of situation he would do, and I yep. Okay, I'll help.
he he goes to spin you away near the end of the dance, and he's like, uh, "Give me some sort of sign if your compatriots will help as well." As he spins you away, and he starts to walk back towards his group of people. All right, Gareth Karr, you are near the front of this Leviathan warship that has all the weapons been stripped off of it. It's a little uh, you're used to it though. You're an operative, right? The ship has got a slow kind of rock to it as it's floating here in the ether overlooking the Dagger Falls. But you stand in front of Queen Lot. She is an intimidating, large figure. And you two have been talking about a possible deal for what you can do to help each other out. So, tell me, Mr. Carr, I can give you this help with my network of spies. You have to try and search. Do you tell her what you're going to use the network for?
Absolutely not. No.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, she doesn't care, right? In the big picture, she's just curious.
Yeah.
She's like, yes, we must all keep our secrets. That's absolutely fine.
That's our business.
So it is. If you help me destroy my rival, this is what you can do. She hands you an encoded missive. Okay. It's like a hollow parchment. It's like, if you can plant this on the commissar's person before end of ceremonies, you can gain access to my spy network.
Done.
She smiles broadly. It's like, then we have a deal. Best to be
We
off,
have
little one.
Your Majesty.
Oh,
And I'll nod and walk away.
too kind. So at this point, you all have had stuff is happening. Taking a look at the time of the. Let's go to. Let's see at the table. All right, the first dance has happened. We are now during the revelry petitions part. You have a certain amount of time before the closing ceremonies where the fireworks signal the end. At this point in time, I kind of figure this is the part where we kind of hand the scenes back and forth. You guys create a scene, I create a scene. I kind of figure the first thing you guys want to do is probably get together. If not, you guys can do something else though.
Yeah, Mr. Crystal's looking for the other two ASAP.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Okay. All
For
right.
sure.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Great. The ship is huge. There is food stuff over here. You can intermingle with other diplomats. You can try and do like get on the dance floor. That might be a little awkward. Um, where do you go?
I imagine there's like an open bar on one side of the main floor there.
Yes.
Uh, we're not being too weird. Everybody saw us come on together. They know that we're part of the same thing. So we'll just grab a beverage from that bar and just kind of off to the side and just try to find a spot where there's not like 1,000 other people just like hanging out there. But I don't think we need to. If we go off someplace and act suspicious, then people will think we're suspicious. So let's just chat as a group of comrades and dish.
Yeah, I'm absolutely fine with it. As you get together, oh, someone pours you some wine, some space wine in the future. You can hear the digging of the glass that kind of puts a little grating on Mr. Crystal's ear as it's off harmony. Um, all right, you gather to share your information under the guise of companionship and friendship. As you hear the kind of loudness of eating around here, should more or less keep your voices unheard.
So something's really wrong with this ship.
How do you mean?
I can't focus. It is sending me a harmony incredibly distressing, and I'm having trouble keeping myself in check. Something's wrong here.
There's a lot of people on this ship that are obviously sending a lot of mixed signals. I'm not surprised. I think everybody's out to
No,
get everybody else.
I actually know something about this. I was speaking to somebody I know happens to be on this ship. He had a nice dance. Um, and is my smitten? Okay, so I don't have to do a roll at the moment. Anyway, I just want to check. Like, is he like, sorry, does smitten only apply if he's like in the room with me? Like, I can see him?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what
No,
I thought. I just wanted to
no.
make
I'm gonna
sure.
say, you
Or is
know
it
what?
this whole scenario? I am smitten. I
Until
am
you
okay.
until you get rid of smitten somehow. Yeah.
Got it. I was speaking with dancing with somebody I knew from when I was a kid. And he is actually here because there's something wrong with the ship. And it's alive. Apparently it's been tortured. I was gonna ask him what kind of creature it was that could change shape, but I got a little flustered. Um, but he said it's been tortured to take on this shape. And I
Whoa,
maybe
whoa, whoa,
try to
whoa!
communicate
The ship,
some of
the
this
ship
through
is
touching
alive.
them and auto-inducing it because I really don't want this to be overheard. Um, so like key elements of it, like I keep conversation going, like, yeah, there is something wrong with the ship, and they get like this little detection of like, it's alive, it's being tortured, and then it's like, but they hear me verbally saying something kind of different.
Can we talk back to her in that way? No. Okay.
It's fine.
Who told you
Not
this?
flustered.
Yeah. Who?
um his name, well, I know him as Sin, but apparently he's going by Prince Joyson these days. He's a pirate, but a good kind of pirate. He's there to like help people who can't help themselves.
I'm gonna give a knowing look to Gareth Karr.
Yeah. So, are you sure? Because
Even I've
I've
had
known a
trouble.
lot of pirates, and they all say that.
Well,
But
see, in my culture, we have this character called, Rachel's trying to think quickly. Um, oh, not working.
German Jesus.
I was trying to make it rhyme with Robin Hood, and it wasn't working in my brain. I was like,
Uh huh.
Bobbin Good.
Bob and Good, right?
And he like seems like a bad guy because he does some stealing, but then he does that all that he steals to the poor people. And so I was kind of that's the kind of pirate he is. Like, yes, his called a pirate, but he really just is doing good things.
Uh huh.
Uh-huh.
So
And
he's
you
here to save the ship and everything. And I wasn't sure if that was real or not. But now, Mr. Crystal, what you were just saying about the ship having something being wrong with it, doesn't that
Something's
track
very.
with what Prince Joyson just told me?
I I don't feel about him the way that you feel about him, but I don't think he's wrong. Something's terribly upsetting here, and I'm having a hard time with it. I as much as I want to deal with the situation we're here for, I'm also trying my best not to run into the bowels of the ship to try to figure out what's wrong here. And I kind of lost my cool on the dance floor. And Gareth, would you be my second in a duel?
Another duel?
I'm for like 10 minutes and you guys are making love to pirates and starting duels? What the hell, you guys?
I'm fighting with one of the bishops to the death using lashes. It's something's gone really wrong.
You couldn't pick a waiter, you picked a bishop?
Yes. And I chose my belt as my weapon.
I guess that's okay.
It has a good buckle.
You guys, when are we belting each other? When does it happen?
At the end of the ceremony,
Okay.
I just need a second. I don't need you. I will be my own champion.
No, I will second you. That's fine. Oh God. Okay. What'd you do?
I bumped into him, and he went to lash one of the comrades from the compound where I was before I came here. I don't know how he's been enslaved in this way. I had to defend him.
One of your guys is like enslaved by this dude. Is that what you're saying?
I abandoned him at the compound, and I can't do it again here.
Never mind. That's a dick move. I'm in. Whatever you want to do. Whatever I can do to help.
You're not sure about this ship? I told you that somebody from my childhood needs help, and you don't want to help him because he's a pirate.
Yeah, because he's the one with all the cyborg freaking bounty hunters on the ship, right? Those guys we saw? That's his crew, right?
You're right. Yeah, I think you're
I
right.
think I'm right. Do you hear about the massacre at the Blue Dawn?
No.
Well, pretty sure that your buddy Sin, which is not just a clever name, was really involved with that and really killed a lot of people.
Sure, he had a good reason.
Yeah, he's gonna give the bones to the poor or some shit. Listen, you can't trust this guy. I think that I don't like to say this about you, but is there I don't want to assume anything. I don't want to. Is there a chance that maybe you think really highly of him because you got a crush on him or something?
No, that's not it.
Sure. Okay. But let's just okay. Okay. We still
I
need
want to help the ship.
Okay.
I realize his reason may not be the best. Mr. Crystal agrees with me that we should help the ship because something is wrong with the ship. So is this not like an enemy of my enemy is my friend situation? Like we all want to help the ship. We all have the same mission. Motivation, not mission. We are here on a different mission.
Yes. I think that if we can save the living ship, if that's a real thing. And guess what? I mean, Mr. Crystal isn't vibing. That does make sense.
Vibing is a good word.
Can I sense which direction the ship, this harmonic is coming from?
Yeah. Even without making a conflict check on this, is that it seems to be emanating from the deck directly below you, right? Um, it's just the whole ship itself just has hatred in its heart. Now that you know that it's alive, it like in just thinking about that, if the ship is alive, in freeing it, it doesn't seem to be an awesome thing. However, if people want to do any sort of um, try to communicate with it or lore about anything like this, you're more than welcome to do these checks right now with each other. And remember, as of right now, you guys have 3 unity points. if there's something really big that you want to do, maybe start thinking about that, but don't forget what your original mission is.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah. Uh, do you? We need to figure out Sapphire Crux. But if this ship is alive and is like a real thing, I think that's important. And I think that having the ship on our side is a good thing. But what if we free it and it's like a monster? Like, what if it's been enslaved to be a ship and that's a good thing? What if it's released and brings havoc on the universe? Like,
It's
what is
real.
it? I think
It's real mad. Even if it's not a monster, it's real upset.
That was gonna
So
be my next question was, can I do some type of lore check to see if I can figure out what kind of creature this could be if
Yeah.
assuming Sin is telling the truth about it being tortured to take on this form, what would that mean?
Yeah.
should we split
100%.
Unity putting all of us work on it?
You won't have to go that big on it,
Okay.
but I will make it because it's not an obvious thing, but I will call it at a 12.
Well, but I need to do an inquiry, make an inquiry wits.
I
I
think
should not have been so specific as to call my item a microscope because I would really like to use my ability, my item, to help me with this.
I think this is more of a lore thing because you're trying to come up with information like what kind of creature could this be?
Fair.
Um,
Lore wits, which would not affect my microscope anyway. I'm trying to look at the deck and see what kind of
yeah,
molecules are on
I would
this
actually
creature.
allow that. That would be
I actually
fine.
would have
But
done that had we were doing inquiry, but you thought lore. Lore makes way more sense. So, and even without or even having to, okay, I'm not directly interacting with it's Joyson,
yeah,
so it's just a -1 from whatever I roll, not
yeah.
-1 die.
Yep. And now remember, we haven't done this too much, but there's no hurry here, right? There's no stakes to this. So what I will do is that I need to create stakes for this roll to even to have there be a reason for a roll. Okay.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
I think so. You want to figure out what kind of thing it is, and I want to hurry. I want to move it quicker to the end ceremony. So I knew I wanted to do some sort of clock situation. Okay. So if you fail, I'm going to move the clock ahead one towards the end ceremony.
Ooh. You ready? Can I roll my dice?
Yeah, absolutely.
I need a 13, you said?
12.
Oh, done.
All right. And I
nice.
get a
I
couple
get a
saga
saga
points.
point.
You get a legend point. Okay. You think back and you're really doing a history check here.
Mhm.
And what you remember during the
Oh,
mid.
shoot! Because I'm smitten. That's a -1, so I do have to spend a saga point to add a die. My success. Sorry, just throwing that out there.
Okay. Okay.
Because
Cool.
6 -1 would not be successful. I have the
Yeah.
saga points to spend.
All
Not a
right.
big deal.
Perfect. Awesome. Uh, because yeah, you're just flustered as you're trying to think. Like you just keep going back to his eyes, and you're like, no, that's not.
He
As
had
you're
to be doing something good.
you go back and you remembering something from the midway point of the company wars. You remember a battalion of Leviathan warships. And as you're thinking about it, you're like, wait, that's right. When they were the scourge during the war, they were incredibly potent, incredibly powerful because of their uh, almost prescient maneuverability and being able to see the future almost when they were like attacking and defending. And it was discovered as you get down to the moments of realization, you are standing on another sentient person. This is an ancient eternal that has been bored out and stretched and forced to grow into the shape. she must be 1,000 years old to be this large.
Oh, also her name is Moonsong. Moonsong. So if you interact with the ship at all, her name is Moonsong. I'll also communicate what I know about Eternals. She's some kind of Eternal. Her name is Moonsong.
Who has the power to do this to it? Just like the
Is that a check that he should? Do
I'm
we
just
know
saying, like,
this?
Yeah, I'm gonna say
Who?
because you got two sixes on that. That's a pretty good success. Even I know you had to buy a die on it, but those are really good. I'll actually throw this in there too. Is that um, that follow up question? You know that they have to be grown um, underwater.
well,
Where could
Belzark is
that have
Caxian.
occurred?
Belzark's a Caxian. They certainly have ways to deal with stuff underwater.
And are they the ones hosting this?
Yeah.
So
Right?
Um,
is there?
Belzark would count as Belzark's ship. Yes. Yeah.
They're the ones who want to be included in the council, whatever that thing.
Yep.
in the Grand
Genevieve
Alliance.
is a Caxian, and she's the one they're trying to marry off.
Now,
Is that
when
kind?
sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
Okay,
M-
go ahead.
Mr. Crystal, when they say, "Well, it's his ship," um, that brings you back to something about the duel that sounds strange that you couldn't put your finger on.
Um.
Hmm, okay.
So as far as like trying to influence votes in a specific way that maybe mean we don't even have to kidnap Sapphire Crux because it's just gonna fail no matter what. Um. Also, I feel bad for that girl. She should not have to deal with Sapphire Crux marrying her.
Yeah, agreed.
Um.
He's a shithead, but
So if kidnapping him is what it takes to save her, I'm okay with that. Also, like, don't need to do what he says. He's a jerk. Let's just
well,
try to make them fail anyway.
what
Would the
about
information that they're torturing Eternals be a reason to be voted against?
obviously there's some weird shit happening, right? Belzark is a city state. He wants to be able to do whatever the hell he wants to do. That he's trying to marry off and get in there. I would say it's more
Right.
like that once they do get married, Sapphire gets killed, and then all of a sudden they have all the power, and they don't have to worry about having like another house worry about them.
I'm not
I think it's a
wrong.
possibility. Like us kidnapping him might be the best thing that happens to him tonight. Uh,
But also, ugh, I want him to be the guy who comes out on like roses in this.
this is bigger than this kid being a shithead. I honestly think that. Like there are other things at play.
Sure.
What we don't need is certain pirates gaining a lot of power and probably stealing this ship is why he wants to be here. He doesn't want to free it. He needs this ship. He's gonna find some way for you to talk to the ship and make it your friend, and then he's gonna fly off with it and take over the world. That's my guess.
Is if I'm would Genevieve maybe know more about this?
If she does know, then she's also a real bad person, right? I'm pretty sure her dad is a villain. I'm pretty sure that,
And she's probably been raised to be a villain.
or she's just a pawn and all.
I was gonna say she's
Like
a
other
pawn,
people I
and yes,
know.
maybe she's been raised that way, but we see Mr. Crystal, and he was raised a certain way, and he got out of it. So
I'm not saying that because you're raised away. I'm saying that she might not know anything at all. She might like literally be like just doesn't know. They didn't tell her.
She seemed to be in a bad state with Sapphire, did not want to be there with him. Maybe she could be an ally to us.
I like the way you think.
We got to be careful though, because if we tell her stuff and then she tells her old man, then everything's out.
Right.
Like we're toast. So we got to be really delicate about that. Mr. Crystal, do you think you can be delicate with diplomacy right now?
I can try. I will try.
I was gonna say, I got this. Girl to girl, we'll be fine.
Okay.
Maybe we get her below deck, and maybe she can help us with the ship.
Awesome.
I think that's fine. Mr. Crystal, maybe we should focus on actually getting Sapphire Crux someplace safe
Okay.
When's your duel?
and kidnap him before the duel. It needs to happen
Yeah.
before the duel. If we get to the
Duel-
closing ceremonies and he marries her, then we're toast. We got to do it now.
Wait, is the closing ceremony literally the wedding?
No. The
Okay.
the vote. So how this all works is that this is a very regimented. This is how polite society does their politics. Like this is a big party, right? The vote happens tomorrow, but honestly, and like the speeches will happen tomorrow and all that, but everything actually gets decided tonight. Like this is where the power brokering is happening. The speeches they give tomorrow are just for show for the public, really. And then they do the vote, and if the vote is for the marriage, I mean, the marriage will happen pretty darn quick afterwards, but that doesn't happen today.
But we should do our stuff tonight.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I still think it's valid to try to influence votes if we can. If you're talking to somebody who might not appreciate voting for a group that tortures Eternals.
I'm with you. I'm getting Belzark out of here, and
that's
I
up.
might actually try to. Mr. Crystal, hear me out. If I can distract Belzark and his side of the family, if you can find a way to sneak Sapphire out of here, and I don't know, I don't think that we need to set it up that we literally, or you or anybody kidnapped him. I think he's just got to be missing, right? And if you can do that, I'll deal with Belzark. And if I can figure out more about this living ship thing, I will, but I'm not going to play my whole hand. All right. This isn't craft cards. I need to keep it cool. And in the meantime, Ludwika tries to talk to the bride to be. Ludwika, you gotta be super cool about this. You have to find out if she knows more than she leads on. And you also can't tell your boyfriend about it. You are on our team, right?
Can't we all be on the same team?
No, we can't. No, we're not on the same team. He's a bloodthirsty pirate. We are a covenant of friends, and I need you to be cool. Don't tell him everything, because he's bad news. He really is. And maybe, you know what? After all this is done, you should try to fix him, because I think you could. But in the meantime, right now, though, you can't tell him, okay? Tell me you're not going to tell him what you're doing.
Okay, I won't tell him how I'm doing it, but I did already tell him I was going to help him. So
No, okay. No,
I just
okay.
won't tell him how. I won't tell
That's
him
good.
how, and I won't tell him that
That's
you
good.
guys are on board.
He should think that we are his allies. That's good. But we can't actually help him by telling him the stuff we are going to do.
Understood. I can abide by that. Yes. Deal.
Thank you. And also, good work. All you guys finding this stuff out. This is great stuff. I was just talking to a queen. I didn't get much out of it. But I diplomacy, but that's about
Wait,
it.
you talked to a queen?
Wait, what?
But you had to get something out of that.
I mean, I got some networking. It's not the same thing. I mean, it is, but you guys got really awesome information. I just have another seat at the table next time. That's pretty much all. So let's all go, team. I love where this is going. Mr. Crystal, I got your back when we have to do this duel. Let's hope we can stretch that out before we get to that point.
All right. Mechanically, let's talk about this real quick. I do want to remind you of your pathos, right? You guys chose these as the things that bind you together to gain experience points. The very first thing is to protect the vulnerable, okay? Boldness in the face of danger and defend the bonds of friendship. So, you guys let that guide your conscience as your characters as you go through this, okay? Now, also defending courtly love is certainly on there, and also building, um, gaining points by building world building stuff. Right now, I want to go to each one of you and let's build. Let's let you guys build a couple scenes here. So, um, what is happening first, and is everyone going to be in the scene or not? So let's start there. Who has a scene that they know for sure that they want to do? And also, does anyone have any questions that are just burning them right now that they feel they need to get answers to?
Oh,
Actually,
for sure, but I want to find them out as we go.
Well, yeah, fair.
I, I don't think there's anything I need to know, like mechanically, to be able to do what I want to do.
Okay. Okay, great.
um,
So,
I was gonna say Mr. Crystal is actually having second thoughts about anything to do with Sapphire Crux and might be more interested in talking to Genevieve again. Maybe I should take her for a walk below decks. I mean, she and I kind of have a. Maybe I
Rapport.
kind of liked protecting her, and she seemed to kind of like that I stepped in front of Sapphire Crux. Maybe I'm the right person to talk to her. Ludwig, would you be willing to maybe throw Sapphire Crux off the deck into the depths of space for us?
I mean, yes, please let me do that.
well, if I remember correctly, we have some inertial compensators that he'll just
Yeah.
get
Oh,
stuck on the side of the ship, unfortunately.
Worth it. Perfect place for him.
it's like throw him off to prove a point, and then he'll just pop back on.
You guys do know who the bad guys are, though, right? Right?
People who
You know what?
tortured the ship.
Yes, not Sapphire. The other, who was trying to marry into his family. They're the bad guys torturing the ship. Sapphire didn't torture a ship. He tortured us on that whole freaking flight.
He's mean to
I had to
her.
put a demon into a box. You remember all that? Remember that part?
June.
Sure. Not the same bad guy. Sapphire's just a dummy. The other
Okay.
family are the dummies.
I think
Please.
I think Aaron's got a pretty good grasp of what he wants his scene to be like. Is that okay, or does
Yeah, that's
um
fine.
okay. All right. So what we're gonna do whenever we hand off these scenes back and forth, so what is the goal of your scene? What do you want to have happen?
Uh, I mean, on the one hand, I want to get below decks to see if I can find where this wounded spirit is living, and for all the wrong reasons now that I stepped in to protect her, now suddenly trust Genevieve, and maybe, I mean, this is the first thing Mr. Crystal's ever done like this. Maybe there's a courtly love thing that might be happening here, but maybe I trust her to help me with this other thing too. Yeah, so I'm
Okay.
going to take her for a walk and maybe get to know her better below decks, which also could connect to this ship.
Okay. I think the stakes are. I think you're going to have to, because Genevieve is a very high profile figure for tonight's uh, function, is that I think you're going to have to kind of sneak off. And so the stakes are being stopped by the guards that have the Kraken. Okay. So you, I think, managed to kind of flit your way through. This is the, if you're not a politician or don't have any exterior goals, this is the boring part of the party, right, of the function. Or if you're just love food and love to eat or drink, then this is the best part, depending on who you ask, right? Um, Genevieve is near the front of the ship, and she is just standing off to the side. You notice that no one asked her opinion, and she gives none. She is just standing kind of off to the side. Of the guards that are over there, they are definitely hovering about Commissar Bell's arc, but aren't really paying that much attention to Genevieve.
I'll approach her and give a bow like I've seen others do, where I take my hat off and bow, sort of having glanced around and seen how others do it, and ask her if she would do me the honor not of a second dance, but of perhaps a walk about the deck.
She just kind of gives this startled look on her face, that anyone would talk to her, much less ask her to go somewhere. She kind of stands there and she goes like, uh, well, yes, oh, yes. She kind of gives a side eye towards one of the guards that's standing not too far away from her. Now, not paying that much attention, but she's like, I don't know if I can, but I think I would like to.
I would like that very much. And I'll hand her my elbow like I saw some of the others do, and just hope she grabs it and start walking with confidence. That
Okay.
is not felt at all.
She takes her scaled hand and slide it over. Now you notice once you're now up close and talking with her, you had that dance with her previously, but there was a lot of stuff going on. She puts her scaled hand. You notice that the scales on her hand are mottled and dying. I remember from her visage that she has tentacles sprouting from her face. This is not a normal, this is an anomaly for a Caxian, akin to a mutation of some sort. As she grabs onto your arm and she follows you out, she just kind of side eyes it. She's like, "Oh, go quickly."
Yeah, absolutely. Scamper along toward. There must be a way below decks.
Oh,
So
certainly. Yep. And there seems to be a guard near one of them. Here, let me check here. Roll some dice. Okay. It's actually a alliance guard near one of the doors going like go into like a little cabin that'll go downstairs. And as you get closer, he's like, well, do you want to do anything before you get closer, or do you want to just engage him right away?"
I'll ask Genevieve. Do you know anything about this, about Nemesis, about this ship? I sense something unusual about it.
"Oh, Nemesis? No. It is our most fearsome battleship with over, I would say it's had over 100 enemy vessels have been shot down from its great prow. It is the pride of, and like she's talking about it, and like you can see she's honestly full of pride if she's talking about it as you get closer. Um, from what you're kind of hinting at, whether it's alive or not, you can tell that she is not either giving away, but not giving any indication that she knows that it's alive, one way or the other. As you get closer to the door, the guard, since it's from the Alliance, wearing white with a gold star, goes like, "Halt! I'm sorry, diplomat. There's no one's to be allowed downstairs unless you're of um, the royal family."
I'm gonna throw down. Would it be? Not sure what it would be. A command. I'm not sure if it would be. Vigor seems close, but maybe it's wits. Um, how dare you try to stop the Lady Genevieve from going as she will?
That's a command for sure, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to shake my finger in his face. So maybe wits or panache, maybe?
Okay. Probably panache. Just your sheer force of now, because you are saying you're invoking Genevieve's name and she's right there with you. Yeah, everyone knows what Genevieve looks like. Well, actually, you know what? If you're part of the Alliance, you probably don't. If you were the other guards from the Free City States, they would. So just roll a regular one, and then I'll roll dice after you, because you're the attacker here.
Geez, wrong one. Sorry. 5d6.
Oh, 5d7s. Oh, no.
Unusual die size.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you're going to keep any dice?
I'm going to. Yeah, I want to get her off this deck. Yeah, I'll put one in. So that gets me to 50.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, these guys are suckers for authority. Um, as just like, my, pardon me, gives a deep bow and actually opens the cargo door for you to go down. Genevieve giggles slightly, and I need you to roll a d6 for me.
Oh, dang it. Yeah. 6.
6. Okay, perfect. Okay, we're gonna leave that one alone for now. We'll pop that one in. Okay. All right. You duck down into the cabin. You now have Genevieve as you're going down deeper into the Nemesis. The great oiled wooden hallways just polished to an absolute dull gleam. As you go in there with like either lamps giving a ghostly glow throughout the hallways. As you feel the tug leading forward towards like what would be assumably would be the engine room near the front of the ship. You lead your way down there as Genevieve kind of giggles. It's like, I don't think I've been down this way before. As you draw closer and closer, as you get towards the front, there are no guards, but there is a steel locked door before you go any further. You think behind this door is an actual figurehead of the ship.
Hmm. I'll put my hand on the door and see if this is the feeling of this emotional pulse of the ship is stronger here.
The door is metal, so you're not getting anything from the door itself. But if you move your hands towards the edge of the wooden wall, like, yes, you're getting the feeling from behind this door.
Lady Genevieve, take her hand in mine. Are you aware the ship is alive?
No, no, that'd be ridiculous.
I'll I have no idea how this will work. I will recreate the harmonic from the ship.
Ooh,
Put her hand on my chest and mimic try to match the exact harmonic I'm sensing.
I love it.
I don't
Okay,
know how else to communicate this, so I'm just gonna harmonize.
okay. We're gonna wait there, and then we're going to go over to Ludwika. In Gareth Karr, are you guys going to do a scene together, or are you doing separate scenes? Do you know what you want to do?
What are you gonna do?
That's, I mean, he took Genevieve, and I probably don't want to go talk to
Correct.
Joyce right now.
No.
Um,
I have an idea.
I will, however, yes, I am all for doing a scene with you. However, I also do want to send Joyce and Sin a single. What? Let me try that again. Send Sin a signal. Whew, that was harder than it should be.
Mm,
That my team is working on it.
our team, you mean you and me, Mr.
Well,
Crystal?
he
We
already
are
knew I
working
was
on it.
working on it. I tell him that not
What is a
alone.
what does that sign look like?
That's what I'm
Yeah.
trying to decide. I make a little glow around my powdered wig as I walk past him. A little like bacterial glow. And then it comes back into my face.
Okay. Okay. Now, Gareth Carr, you see
My
this.
culture, that means that's like a thumbs up. That is like the equivalent. Like your head just kind of goes, woof.
You see this strange behavior. You don't know what it means exactly. From
But I get
it, it,
a chill in the back of my neck though as it happens.
yes.
It can't be good. Whatever she did with her wig against
Could
this
just
other.
be that I'm flirting. That could just be a way we flirt in my culture. You don't
That's
know.
what I'm afraid you're doing. Yes, that's the worst case scenario. What do you think I want you to do?
What do you guys have an idea of what you want to do or accomplish here? Because
Yeah,
I know
Yours
that
does, yeah.
Ludwika had mentioned maybe talking to some other people that want to vote a certain way or whatever. But yeah, there's a lot of different ideas. But you guys said yes, you have an idea. Lay it on me. What goals? What are you trying to get done here?
I would love if Ludwika can distract uh, Counselor Eliphas for me just for a moment. He's the other Harven counselor. I know he's on the ship, and I need to pull a ruse, and I do not need him around when I do it because I'm going to use my culture to
Uh,
fool someone, and I don't want him to be able to call me out on it.
okay,
So,
that's great.
all right,
Let's. Yeah, Ludwika, are you down with this plan?
Yes.
just try not to fall in love. Sorry, that was rude. I'm sorry.
That was rude.
I don't want you to get involved with this pirate. He's a pirate.
I like pirates.
No, you.
Gareth, is this about the pirate?
You approach through the delegates of it's Counselor Eliphas. He's a duke, but just keep it simple. We'll call him Counselor. So remember who's all on the council. Um, he's surrounded by just people, ridiculous people. And what I would like, so what is your goal here? I know you want to distract him, but is there anything else that you want to get out of this, Ludwika?
Um, Is he a voting person?
Yeah,
Well, then I'm gonna try to tell him not to vote for the alliance without being super obvious about it. I mean, everybody's being super obvious. Everybody's playing politics right now, but I'm gonna try to not have to reveal the state of the ship in order to get the vote.
got it. All right. You start to approach Eliphas, and unfortunately, the tension table is going to get passed to you. As you get closer to talking to Counselor Eliphas, you are literally like 6 feet away from him. As this person comes kind of bubbling up out of the crowd almost, and goes like, "Pardon me, do I, I'm sorry, I feel like we've met somewhere before, but maybe not. Maybe not. I I feel like you're a person who hasn't found themselves as of yet. I I believe I can help you find and trust in your own strength, in your faith. Have you heard of Milthar, the missionary? This person is coming up to you dressed in the traditional missionary clothing. Of Can you tell me what species is this person?
This person is what's the one that are look like large animals?
Zooey.
That one.
What kind of
Looks
animal?
kind of like a rabbit.
Oh yeah, rabbit. Big long ears. Oh, I kind of hopped up on the back legs. It's like, what do we think? We think probably very traditional. This is he's talking about Milthar, who is of the larger religions in the universe. Believe in one source in one person that has that power that's been able to give that power to other people. So it's one of the predominant religions in the area. He goes like, yes, I would like to bend your ear for a while if that's okay.
I'm kind of busy right now, but maybe you can catch me later.
Every time you try and do a little side step as you kind of step away, you've been in weird situations before. He takes a half hop to get in front of you. Is like, oh, this will only take a moment. This will only take a moment, and I don't want to be rude. He is of the Alliance, and
God,
he's like, "T- tell you what, let me just leave you with this." And he reaches out with his bunny paw to touch you on your shoulder.
I will dodge because I don't like
Okay,
things involving touch because
I
that's a way to communicate. Can I also, I mean, yes, I know you're instigating something, but do I know anything about this religion? Have I
you know,
interacted with somebody of this religion before?
Sure, it's one of the largest religions in the cosmos. They're
So
called,
yes, just making sure that like
yeah,
I personally
Miltharians.
have been around
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
In which case I would probably, as I'm trying to sidestep him, I'm giving him like the canned, like, I know how you want me to answer this. Yes, I have accepted him into my life, and I admit I am a sinner, and a lot of like just like the jargon that I know is what they are gonna feed me. Like, I know it
Well,
all. I have a church. I
let's see if I can hit you. No, I don't have any tension points because I just spent them to do this. I got an 8. I'm just trying to touch you. So it'd be gonna be
I'm
vigor,
just trying to
valor.
dodge.
Yeah, vigor,
Vigor
valor to get out of the
valor.
way.
I have to subtract one.
Yeah, from your total.
I'm smitten. Is there a way? Can I just write -1 next to it and it'll. No, I shouldn't do that. I should just do the math in my head.
Yeah, it'll do -1 to
I
all.
got a 10, even so.
Okay,
So,
perfect. And I get a tension out of that, right? Okay. You managed to duck out of the way of this person who's like, oh, I'll be right here waiting for you, as you manage to end up being face to face with Counselor Eliphas.
praise Molthar.
Eliphas stands and says like, oh, uh, hellos. I'm sorry, I think I saw you come in. This is for the Grandmaster of the Raw. Is that right? You came in with Mr. Crystal?
I did. We're
I
recent friends, but
I
uh,
see. I see how you've made it into my inner circle, I see. And he chuckles.
I was hoping to have your attention for a couple of minutes. I promise I'm not trying to convert you like that guy did.
Oh, Lapin? Yeah, don't worry about that. Hmm. Yes, what can I do for you? Time is success, and I have all of it.
uh I I just really want uh I have some interesting information about the plan, the name I can never remember. It starts with a B, the house, the guild. One that we're trying to vote on. Who are we voting on?
It's the Free City State of Ambergy.
Remember, it doesn't start with B at all. I don't know why my
Belzark?
brain cannot
Commissar Belzark?
remember this word. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
Elzark. I was like, I don't know why I can't remember either of these names. Rachel just cannot keep them in her brain. Even though I have them written down, I don't. My notes make no sense. So I see these words and I don't know what they mean. Um. So anyway, I have some information about Ambergy that I really think is important for people who are voting to know. Um, and I just wanted to kind of have a discussion about their potential role in the galaxy.
Oh, well, this is a boring conversation then. I'm sorry.
I
My
agree, and
position,
I'm sorry. I know this is a party, but like I just wanted to be really upfront about why I really want to talk to you.
my position is perfectly clear. We cannot afford war. I say let them in. You're a little surprised to hear someone from the Alliance say this. But you also notice from this particular councilman, he is tall, he has gaunt, comically large bad ears. He almost seems to be doing all of the things that you can do to distract from reminding his fearsome like stories and backgrounds of his people's behaviors, right? They are survivors. They will do anything to survive. But he's like, hmm, no, I'm sorry. That doesn't, this is a boring conversation. Of course we should let them in. The counselor Elephas comes back up. Is like, comes over and was like, oh, hello. And yes, Le Pen,
Hi.
can I help you with anything? Because I forgot to do something. Is that
Okay.
I forgot to do the twist. It's a way for you to get some unity points. So Eric, Aaron, think of things that can be something added to the scene with Lepan. I hate saying that because I just got done watching something with a rabbit character named Lepan, but it's the first thing that came to my head. So thanks, Zach. I appreciate that. All right. Um, the this religious of Milthar, Zooey Rabbit, has come up to try and save Ludwika's soul, more or less. What kind of twist are we going to give this? I think the twist is well, does anyone have an idea before I say anything? Because I really don't. Like what makes this bad or what makes this worse? Um how about Milthar this for whatever reason this religion you are violently opposed to it. Maybe in your because you used to work in the free city states, maybe someone from the Miltharian faith hmm, maybe took one of your neighbors away. I don't know how good of a twist that is, but
Could we ramp that up a little bit, make it a little more personal?
yeah.
Maybe a favorite cousin, or maybe a favorite cousin ran off to be one of the Milfarians and was never heard from again.
Ooh,
Mm.
I like that.
Yeah, went to join the church, and yeah, no one ever saw him again.
Um, Lotharians could be any species, uh, but there's been a big push to say the Centillians cannot be saved through the weave. They're not connected to the weave. This is sort of an underlying thing that that the church is saying to try to get more Centillian to convert. And there have been worlds where this is taken to violence, and uh, It's been sort of on the outskirts of it, but it's getting closer and closer. And just the idea that Centillians don't have souls and that are not connected to the weave makes you angry.
Ooh,
Hmm.
those are good. What do you think, Rachel? Are you going to take any of
Oh
those
my goodness.
twists?
I mean, I like them all. Um,
And you can take all of them if you
I
wish.
right. I think. I mean, I think they do tie together. Both Mr. Crystal and both Eric and Aaron's twist kind of tie together. Like, there's been this push to like convert Centillion by telling them like what they're an exception. I guess I don't know what that exactly looks like to be told. Like Centillions don't have souls, but like we found a way that they can be saved or something. And my cousin bought into it, and we haven't heard from her since she left. Yeah, a little bit of both, I think.
Okay. All right. We'll give you that unity point. Definitely write that somewhere down for notes on your character sheet. And maybe that's something you can tie in to future personal story for sure. Um, that sounds amazing if you want to tie that in at some point in time during this saga. Like,
We'll
wow.
see.
All right. So now we've set the scene. This missionary is there offering you savior for your soul in front of counselor, um, who is, what is he? Oh, he's Harven. And your goal is to distract him and to find out what his vote is. You found out what his vote is. He is under the impression stopping there, no bloodshed, no warfare at all. It'd be bad for everyone. Just let him in. That's okay.
I don't think it would benefit everybody, though. Don't you want something that isn't just. It'd be bad for everyone if it didn't happen, but it's not going to benefit anybody if they are in. And it may actually harm some if they are in, and give the entire council like a bad reputation for partnering with um a group that does kind of shady things.
Hmm. Well, this is actually the missionary speaks up. It's like, well, one thing I will say about the Free City States, they do have a lot of Miltharian believers in the Free City States. So I think we can trust their motives on there, while they may not take to heart about helping everyone the way that we do believe. There is still hope within their Free City States. And you see, Eliphas kind of takes this in consideration. He's like, well, but to if warfare starts here, then we're going to be distracted from doing the right things. And as you begin to talk, you realize that if you were to try and change this guy's mind, you're going to need like a 30.
I don't think my panache is that good.
However,
um
you think if
My
you
mysticism is also not that good.
remember, you're here to distract, right? So this is a good way. So you
That's
can either
true. This is a side thing.
So you can go for
Um,
trying to convince him by changing his mind with a 30. You can leverage the missionary into maybe changing his mind, or you can just go for a straight up, I'm just going to talk circles for a while
distracting.
to distract. All right, think about that.
But I
All
mean,
right,
I want to do both. I want to
Gareth
talk in
Karr.
circles, but maybe also change their mind in the process.
All right, Gareth Karr. All right, I think we'll start this scene, then we'll go around and finish up everyone's scene. That'll probably be it for the night. All right, Gareth Karr, you set your scene for me here.
So I see Ludwika going over to the Duke's circle, and I'm like, great. maybe I see a little bit of a, a rabbit Zooey getting in the way. Like, fine. I want to find uh, Sapphire. Is he on
Yeah.
the floor here?
Yes,
His
you can find him.
betrothed is gone, right?
Yeah, he is sulking somewhere
Great.
on.
I'm gonna go right up to him. I'm gonna put my arm around him, and I'm gonna say, "Hey, you wanted a Harven Fate reading, right? A Harven Fate blessing.
What?
Come on, we gotta talk to your future father-in-law. Harven Fate blessing, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, yes. He's a little bit like he may be a little slow at times, but he is loves doing crazy stuff. So yes, it's like yes, yes. Hey, tell your friend to take it easy on me. That was rough
Which friend?
with the crystal guy, Mr. Crystal. I
Yeah,
didn't,
what do you do?
I didn't pay you guys to humiliate me in front of everyone. I paid you to to do the other
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Understood. This is all happening. This is a very crucial point. What we're doing right now is going to lead directly to that, and you're playing the part perfect. You look so sad. This is perfect. Keep it up. All right.
Okay. Okay. Yes. All right. Yes. We'll talk to the commissar. What a killjoy! My God. All right.
Oh, don't worry. You're going to love this part.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. It's not gonna take him much to convince him. No role needed because he is convinced that you're trying to help him set up what he wants. And yeah, absolutely. So he goes over with you, being led by you, I assume. Up,
Great.
you a little bit closer now. Commissar Belzark is like kind of surrounded by his royal guard, bodyguards, really. Um, how do you do this?
Yeah. Uh, I'll just kind of we'll go sort of to the circle, and I'll say, Sapphire, tell him that you'd like to do a Harvin Fate blessing.
Okay.
I'll kind of
Yeah.
push Sapphire into the circle.
All right. His little do you see, half side of his plated face is kind of twitching a little bit as he goes forward. It's like, hmm, Commissar Belzark. As he bows in front of the guards and hearing a booming voice as the kind of the squid face, Belzark bellows back. Is like, yes, the Timenta clearly not excited for this interaction. The guards part though. Like they're just on the front part of the ship. They're just like four guards kind of surrounding Commissar. He lets people into the inner sanctum to talk to him every once in a while. The front two part to allow Sapphire to enter. It's like, sir,
And
I was
like as I also enter the circle as I get right behind Sapphire.
okay. The guards obviously pull out their pole arms that have like laser fires on one end and like a kind of a vibro blade on the other end. They pull them forward. They're kind of like shark dudes.
Okay.
As you get closer, uh, Sapphire's like, "What? No, no, no! I'm here. I want to do a Harven blessing.
A Harvin
Um,
Fate's blessing.
okay. And remember, you're dressed head to toe like in a tuxedo, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
but I'm still a Harvin.
Yeah. Yeah. No, 100%. Um. Okay. So, and he's like, "Huh? Well, I don't reckon much with the hoodoo on this side. And Sapphire Sapphire is stumbling a little bit.
He should. Yeah.
Yeah, because he's not quite sure what's he's supposed to do here. What how do you help him out here?
That's exactly where I will step in and say, Commissar, the Harvin Fate blessing is a gift of my people to you and to your new family. Sapphire has requested this. And I would like to give you the fate blessing. And I'm
Okay.
really playing up Harvin stereotypes at this point.
Hey, this sounds good. Belzar kind of turns left and motions to someone that's outside of the circle. And you see the Needler comes over, his captain of the fleet comes over and he's like, and you hear Needler like, oh, he came in with the the rock, the Grandmaster of the Rock. Oh, okay. So what is it that you'll have to do? Now you're gonna have to give me you're gonna have to persuade him,
Oh, yeah.
right? And now I assume I know what your goal is. We didn't state it beforehand, but can you please tell me what that is at this point?
My goal is to convince him to take off his jacket, hand it to me so I can put in the vid parchment.
Okay. All right. You begin the ceremony of talking to him. All right. Let's go down to Mr. Crystal. Give me a what do you think this is? Is this a weave, do you think? Check.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I'm guessing it's
Mysticism.
some sort of weed mysticism for sure. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, yeah. It's not charm or command at all. Yeah, let's go weed mysticism.
Okay. Yeah. I really like this. Let's go for it's 9. I think you only need a 9. You're kind of attuned to what's going on here. Oh.
I'm gonna have to burn them both, aren't I?
Yep.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
I'll spend it all.
You reach out with your mysticism, shaping it, drawing those emotions from the ship, letting the violence fill you, and channeling it towards Genevieve as she feels it in her heart as it comes through the palm of your hand, as she just her eyes grow wide and she's like, "It's such pain. This is the ship. This is Nemesis.
This this is Nemesis. This is the
Oh,
heart of your flagship, my lady.
I don't, I don't understand. Wha Why would he do this? What can I do?
Let's free the ship.
I can, I can get one of the soldiers to open this door. Or can you enter? Can you get in?
If you would like me to.
I command it.
All right. Do I think this is something that I can is my physical structure something that I could damage something like this?
Oh yeah, you can punch this thing for sure.
Okay.
I'm gonna put it at a. It's a pretty solid door. It's locked. It's metal. I'm gonna say 13. So it's gonna be hard to do.
Yeah, it's like a vigor duel valor.
Valor or duel.
Uh in my lucky, I'm gonna hit it with my hand with the lucky bracelet, so +1 to this guy.
Oh yeah.
Nice. Wait, was it some? Okay. Oh, 11. So I would have to. Oh, and I get another 2. Okay, yeah, I guess I'll use a saga.
Yeah. All right.
Getting a
All
ton
right.
of those today.
Perfect. You manage to smash the door down as you stumble into the heart of Nemesis. On the inside is a large. So you're at the prow part of the boat that comes up, and sticking out facing this way is. Do you know what Janus is? The Greek goddess. a god where it has two faces. So on the outside, it has a face for the mount, but it also has a face on the inside of the ship as well, which is a different visage. The one on the outside is anger and violence and lightning bolts. On the inside here, it is one of pain. As you step into the room, Genevieve goes down to one knee from the psychic backlash being so close to the heart of the ship. You have a higher mysticism, so you're open to this, of feeling it, and you can feel the ship communicating that it is she just wants to kill them all.
Oh no.
As you step into the engine ship of it, Ludwika, you are talking. You feel the vessel shift underneath your feet slightly. Um, what is it you're trying to do here? Give me the big roll. What's happening?
I'll keep distracting for Gareth. Um, but I think I'm aiming more for this missionary who seems to have the guy I'm talking to in his pocket. Um, and if I need to roll for my knowledge of this, but I'm going to find some good spiritual or religious sayings of Milthar. Yeah, I'm going to have to compare it, but like, oh, spout Bible verses at him, basically. That.
Yeah, absolutely. Find some good messages of Milthar. Now, one thing, like Milthar's not an evil religion, right? It's just all the people in it are just different people, right? And how it can be
Right.
used. So you are thinking of this is one of the oldest religions because the idea of, I believe, of Milthar, I have to look it up, be exact, but the idea is that this is started off as kind of a cult. And all the way back into our current day of people who believe in miracles. That was actually the weave or the essence, but it's always been hidden, and only a few people could have access to it. And until not too long ago, where everyone had access to it, so Miltharians are like, "See, we've been trying to tell you this whole time. It's always been here."
Mhm.
So it's the oldest, technically the oldest religion out there. All right, give me your roll against this guy.
What's it gonna be? Like a convert or a.
Well, it's going to be lore, right?
I'm not trying to change his religion. I'm just trying to point to the things that are in his religion that are applicable to the conversation.
Yeah, lore wits or lore
Okay.
mysticism, I think, are
Okay. Right,
either one of those,
technology.
or even you're not trying to change his mind, so not panache.
Oh, that's not right either. So yeah, I'm not trying to change his mind. I'm just trying well, change his mind about the vote, but
Right.
also just trying to like keep the conversation going. So I'm sorry, what did you say you recommended?
Uh, so it's gonna be lore in either mysticism or wits. I'm fine with, right?
Or I think I'm gonna go lore. I go wits because I'm trying to like recall existing information.
Okay. Yeah.
So that is -1. So that's a 10. And am I going against this guy or am I just like there's
Yeah, this
a
is gonna be an
standard?
opposed roll. He's a missionary, so he's gonna know his stuff,
Right,
right?
he knows his things. I'm just trying to decide I'm definitely spending 1. I'm gonna spend 2. I'm gonna make it a really high, like a 21.
Okay, you're at 21.
Oh.
I don't even have enough dice to get there. Okay, 21. Yeah. You do you want to tell me what that looks like?
um mean, if I don't remember what the initial argument that he made was.
There's lots
That
of
like
Miltharians in free city states that by
yeah,
allowing them to have a seat on the council, then maybe they can bring them the hope and yeah.
right. And so I come up with some quote of Miltharian origin that points to those who follow Milthar but actually harm others. Something about how they are missing a point or something like that. Because Milthar would not cause harm to those that he did he create them? I don't know.
Hmm.
Rachel doesn't know. What is the
No,
Milthar lore?
yeah, Milthar is not
Okay.
about like he didn't create Milthar is just the person that's known about it, and the
Right.
idea is
The
that there's
weave would
probably
never
been
cause
yeah.
harm to the beings within it and those who serve or those who don't serve. There's some quote. There's some really great quote that I
That
reference.
that sums it up perfectly for me. Yes. All right, got it.
Of course. Of course. It might be like a combination of a couple of or a couple of quotes.
Yeah.
But
Duke Eliphas arches his eyebrow as he's like watching fascinating. He's like, "Oh, the pen. I think she might be the person converting you here." And
I
he
don't
begins
need
to
you to be
chuckle
converted. I just need you to recognize where your faith and your words and your actions come together.
as you totally have these two enwrapped within this theological debate. You are a wayfinder, right? You
Hmm.
know vessels and ships. You explore. You know things. Your lore. You hear almost an imperceptive whine above everything else before it gets subsumed by music again. As you look off the catch of the corner of your eye, you see the red vines that were hung up on the
Hmm.
boom of the massive sails on the ships and whatnot. Near the edges, you see them start to go limp as you recognize that the inertial compensator is slowly being turned off. Okay,
You
Gareth
throw
Karr.
Sapphire Crux over the edge.
Hey, Gareth Karr, you take one peek over your shoulder to see Ludwika just as these two enwrapped, with they have their backs totally turned towards where you're at. And
Love it. Love it. Gentlemen, take off your jackets and roll up your sleeves and put your arms together. That's what I want them to do.
okay, let me take a look here. I've got all their stats here. Okay, so Belzark is the brains, right? The Needler is the muscle that does his will.
Yeah.
Commissar Belzark is the brains. In That's why he's the leader of the Free City States. So I'm going to give you these options. You can try and charm him, I think, is what we're going for here, is what I'm going to guess. Command or charm, probably more charm, I would guess. Um,
Can it be kind of skullduggery? Like I'm making a big ruse. This is not like I'm sort of making up a thing.
well, here was the other thing I was going to say is that you can try and go
Okay.
for a charm, or you can go for a sleight of hand, skullduggery, right?
Sure. Yeah,
So
yeah.
the
This
goals
feels
are the
very
same. You're just
Rasputin. Yeah.
yeah, the
Yeah.
goals are the same, just done in a slightly different way.
I mean, I kind of want both to happen, I guess. But I'm hoping that it's a big enough gesture, the ritual they're gonna do, that I makes the sleight of hand really easy.
Okay.
So I guess yeah, I'll do a charm. I'll do a charm panache.
Okay. So do charm panache, and this is just setup. This is not the actual transference. This is just the
Right.
setup to get an advantage for doing it. Got it.
Sure.
Okay. You're the attacker.
All right.
You're gonna
Okay.
see how smart this guy is.
Ew.
Oh dang. Wow. Okay. Tension points though, I guess. Are you
Mhm.
gonna spend any saga points to?
Yeah, I'm gonna at least spend. I'm gonna spend one. I hope a 17 is enough to seal the deal on this.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to make this hard. So I have 11, 15, 18. No, I'm going to spend 2 tension points. Okay. As he's like, no, keep your trickery to yourself. I will keep my jacket on, please. But you still have, so you can still do the skullduggery check. It just won't be at an advantage. You're still going to get something though, right? Because you've got Ludwika has done her part. The ship is
Mm-hmm.
slightly listing a little bit, which you don't really notice. It's just like you unconsciously compensate for it because you're very light on your feet. Um, and you have um, Sapphire there as an accomplice.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's great, by the way. What a
So
team player he's been.
what I will do is that Sapphire can give you a +2. Okay. Now,
Okay.
this is going to be important because as you get like obviously Commissar is not believing any of this stuff. But Sapphire's doing his best to go along. He's allowing you to get a little bit closer. He's a very paranoid man as well. Um, what you now notice when you're getting closer to do the sleight of hand, you notice his tentacles are a lot longer than you kind of figure, and they almost unconsciously are constantly in motion about his body as they grasp out and seek and try and sense stuff. You're going to have a
Mm.
-3 total. So you're at plus
That's
two,
what
minus
plus is from
three.
Sapphire.
So +2, -3. So you're at a -1 total to this roll.
Does that
You
include what Ludwig has done for me too, or that
that
just
is yeah, that keeps it
okay?
so you don't get called out by like Harven. What? This man is bullshit. No, that he is distracted, so he can't call you out.
Jared, do you like ending on cliffhangers?
I am I am fine with it if you'd like to wait until next session.
No, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go up to the Lord Shithead and say, I'm with the rebellion. And I want to call my NPC in. Can we stop there so we can figure out what that is?
Yes, I love
Okay,
it.
good.
You whisper, "I'm with the rebellion." And the camera pans back as you so Commissar Belzark like raises an eyebrow as you get closer to him. As we pan back, we see Ludwika in a heated theological debate while keeping away from missionary Lepan to make sure he doesn't get any paws touch you as part of his conversion powers, trying to convince the councilman Elephas to change his vote, which seems almost impossible. You see Mr. Crystal almost staggered back from the psychic backlash of hate just pouring out of the inside figurehead of Nemesis as you've whispered, the rebellion. So we pan back. Until next week, everyone, we'll see you on Honorbound, a seat at the table. Thanks, everyone.